guys and gals, Nary here from Drakewing Gaming, and some of you know me on Twitter, The Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you another Let's Play episode of Tennis Ace, Shuichi's Path. So anyway, y'all, let's go ahead and jump right back into it, shall we? Alarm Chan, you are up, and let's go! Also, y'all, I wanted to remind you, if y'all hear any giggling or cute little remarks in the background, that is my partner. They're probably in my room watching me do a little playthrough. But anyway, y'all, let's go ahead and jump right in, shall we? Sure. Alright. Alright, let's do it. That's not something I saw during his match with Yuya. What the hell? Player, Michimaya, please get in position to serve. Right, my bad. Shit, this isn't the time to be breaking down like that, Yuichi. What the hell is going on with me? Not only am I struggling to get into it, but I keep getting distracted. Nothing I can do now but try to switch back. Come on, Yuichi, you never struggled this much to get into gear before. Right away I see a return of that annoying tactic from the previous point. But not only that, Keiken is now also throwing in a mix of high topspin shots and dead spin shots to force me to hit the ball back at a different contact point than I'm used to. All of these on their own aren't uncommon strategies. I'm used to having people pull these against me since they're well-known methods for dealing with power baseliners like me. But never so many of them at the same time, and never with this kind of consistency. What the... Are you telling me he was still holding something back in his last match to use against me? Are you serious? Shit. After pushing me around for an entire long rally with a sudden focus on topspin shots and constant aiming at the baseline, the hare suddenly shoots a shallow slice near the net that tries to slip out of the court. I run after it, but the ball has just enough power to be unreachable with my delayed reaction, especially as I stumble on my own 2 feet and nearly fall to the floor. Game, Urushihara, 5-4. Immediately I begin to hear a few murmurs from all around us. Even I am stunned. Keiken broke my serve? Here? In an official match of all places? How? No, hang on a second. That's not what you should be so surprised about. That entire rally, what the hell was that? That he'd been able to think of those kinds of strategies isn't all that surprising since they're so standard, but when did Keiken ever have the chance to practice them at this level? As play restarts with Keiken now serving, the same strategies from before make a reappearance, along with liberal use of kick serves and even more shot variation than before. There's no doubt in my mind now that the hare had prepared a lot of countermeasures against me specifically and kept them hidden for as long as possible so as to strike when I'm most vulnerable. He knew that the shock would destabilize me and give him an opening to exploit, and now I'm being led by the nose by him. He's never once played like that during our practice matches. Has he been planning this the whole time? There's no way, right? I mean, I know he can be sly, but to intentionally hold back for months during practice matches just so he can surprise me at a competition? Are we supposed to be friends? Would you really do something so scummy as asking me to be your practice partner than using those matches to mislead me? That would be brilliant. And there's no way he could have pulled those tactics off so well if he had been practicing them out somewhere. All at once, I'm hit by the quick and merciless realization that, as much as he might be my friend, the person standing in front of me did not hesitate to mislead me for the longest time for a chance at victory. Right now, he's probably only looking at me as an opponent to beat. I've been so concerned with how he would feel if he lost, so worried about hurting his feelings. After all, I know how hard he tends to take it. I remember the look on his face when we first played against each other. I remember how angry he was when Murasaki and Sasaki-san first came to Japan to help us train. I remember how upset he was when he lost to Yuukin a few months ago. I've been so worried about treating Keiken like my friend that I haven't been taking him seriously as my rival. Have I been the insensitive one for worrying so much about these things? Game in first set won by Urushihara, 6-4. Isn't this exactly what I did with Takagi-kun back in the day, too? And look where that's led me. Yes! Keiken pumps his fist, screaming so loudly in celebration as to earn himself a glare from the umpire. Sorry, I got too excited. Even the Keisuke that never before managed to steal a set from me is now loudly celebrating it as if he'd won the whole match. Ignore. I quickly make my way to the bench, grabbing a towel and patting myself dry before covering my head with it. From the corner of my eye, I can tell that Urushihara dallies for a few seconds, stopping for a bit, looking hesitantly at me before proceeding to his bench. But I don't have the leeway to think about that right now. One second, y'all. It is indeed water time. Oh, Lord, okay. More than anything, I need to fix my mistaken thought process before it causes me to stumble once more. I absolutely cannot allow myself to make this kind of mistake again. 1-0. This is the first time he's ever taken a set from me. Not to mention the first time I've ever dropped a set to anyone in this competition other than Takagi. What is this frustration? My heart is beating so hard that my chest hurts. I bite my quivering lip as I clutch my chest, trying as hard as I can to understand this feeling that I haven't felt in so long. The feeling of damaged pride and anger, the humiliation. Even though I told myself I could never imagine losing a single set to Keisuke, I find myself here now. Just watching him celebrate earlier frustrates me. All at once, I cut down the image of my friend Keisuke standing in front of me and instantly burned that of the player Urushihara gleefully celebrating in front of me into my mind. At this rate, if I continue to take things in this half-hearted way, I will never be able to amount to anything. Faced with the very real prospect of being beaten due to my own stupid, useless hang-ups, I finally find a certain something called resolve. When I open my eyes and step back into the court at the end of the break, my previously chaotic thoughts have stilled and cohered into a single stream of consciousness. On my pride as Japan's former number one, I absolutely refuse to allow this farce to continue any longer. While I previously worried about you and how much he seemed to be struggling on the court, that concern was quickly flipped on its head by the start of the second set. The match that, up until 20 minutes ago, had been painful to watch even before Urushihara found a way to break through, was now turned the total opposite way. Brought face to face with a certain vision I hadn't seen in years, I could do nothing but watch with wide, open eyes, my jaw hanging long gone slack. It's a view I'd only gotten glimpses of a couple times in the past year. One that I thought was completely lost to me by now. You, who I'd previously thought was already playing at his best, suddenly turned into a completely different player. His face that had been contorted into a look of panic and discomfort was now impassive and focused. By comparison, Urushihara's was now twisted into a frantic, desperate frown as he chases uselessly after each and every ball, barely managing to reach them at all. Aniki? And I was hardly the only person to be stunned into silence. The crowd that had grown extra rowdy after Urushihara snuck away with the first set now watched in a mix of shock and maybe even horror. Is that really Yuichi-san? I can only nod silently. That was certainly a Yuichi I thought was gone for good. The Yuichi standing on that court looked exactly as the one I remembered from my childhood memories. The one that began fading away little by little during middle school until disappearing for good during the last U15 All-Japan in our senior year 3 years ago. It wasn't just his attitude that changed either. His shots became both stronger and scarily precise. Okay. So this is, I believe, Shuichi talking. Okay. Not only that, Urushihara's new strategies that had previously been causing him so much trouble now got dismantled one by one as if they were nothing. Whenever Urushihara attempted to use some new trick, Yu would quickly adapt to it, changing his playstyle to neutralize it. It was as if several aspects of his game had suddenly improved by several levels all at once, and he still continued to improve before my very eyes. The distance between the two of them that had seemed so small during the first set now grew larger and larger until it resembled an abyss. Keisuke can't touch him anymore. Even if I'm happy, hell, I'm elated to see the old Yuichi finally come back. I can't help but feel bad for Keisuke. Just seeing the look on his face makes me grimace. I want my boyfriend to win, but I never wanted to see Keisuke this crushed. For all of our disagreements, he's still my friend. I feel so conflicted right now. Game, Michimaya, 5-2. Keisuke can barely even score anymore, and the rare times when he does tend to be more due to Yu's own unforced errors more than anything. Maybe as a reflection of Yu's growing confidence, he began taking a lot more risks and making unconventional plays. While they have been working ridiculously and frighteningly well, he still makes mistakes every now and then. Second, y'all, it is indeed water time. Hey, sweet little girl. Hey, pretty girl, little sweet little girl over here. Sweet little kitty girl. However, the part that's most terrifying isn't even that. It's how he's not at all affected by whatever mistakes he does make. Even when he messes up or when Keisuke manages to steal a point away from him, Yuichi shrugs it off as if nothing happened and adapts to it, using his mistakes to adjust further and getting it right the next time. Keisuke, please don't give up. Don't let this shake you up more than it already has. You're not the kind of person to simply roll over and throw in the towel. Come on, if you don't fight this, you won't be able to keep your head held high after all is said and done. Game, and second set won by Michimaya, 6-2. Shit, I don't even know who I'm cheering for anymore. Why does this stuff have to be so complicated? Oh, did they only just finish the second set? Oh. Suddenly, a particular voice cuts through the fog of my thoughts, snapping me back to reality. Tanabe-san. Hello again, Urata-san. Hey there, Takagi-ni. Hello, Aki-kun. It's been a while. How are you doing? I'm fine. Tanabe awkwardly looks away, putting a hand on the back of his neck. So, Urushihara-kun actually took the first set away, it seems. That's certainly unexpected. What's with the score for the second set, though? Seems the match was fairly close at first, but now it's not. Did Urushihara-kun run out of stamina or something? Not really. Then what happened? How can there be such a massive difference out of nowhere? Is Urushi Harukan hurt? Actually, it's Yuichi-san that's different. Different? It's, kinda incredible. He's what? I can't quite understand what you're saying. What's incredible? Yuichi-san is! Huh? You'll see. I see. It's difficult to explain. Aniki's playing a lot better all of a sudden. It's like when I was a kid. Wait, you don't mean... Just watch. Look, the third set is about to start. If you mean what I think you do, then I certainly have to witness this with my own eyes. The game's like, nope. Okay. As soon as I can't tell whose point of view this is. Probably use. As soon as the play restarts, Urushi Hara tries serving with a wide slice that skids away from the court in an attempt to get me out of my position. Ever since the start of the second set, his composure has been fraying. I, on the other hand, feel lighter and freer than... Honestly, I don't even remember when I last felt like this. 15-0. Back when I played against Murasaki-senpai in April, I felt as if I was knocking on the door to something. Like my body was starting to kick off the dust and get back into a gear that it hadn't used in a long time. But compared to this, it was only scratching the surface. All of a sudden, my brain is getting flooded with all these great ideas, different strategies I can use to deal with Urushi Hara. And my body is responding in kind, moving faster than it has in a long time. This is how I used to feel before. This feeling is why I used to love tennis so much. Once that realization clicked into place, all extraneous thoughts disappeared, and I was able to perform at a higher level than I hadn't in years. Ow. Ow. A little bit of bonus content for y'all. Anyway, 40-0. Finally, for the first time since this goddamn slump started creeping up without me even realizing it, I can actually say, I'm on fire. Game, Michimaya, 5-1. Urushi Hara gasps heavily, struggling for breath as he stares at me with eyes practically devoid of any more spark. In response, I turn back and walk into my serve position. There's no place for those kinds of concerns once you're on the court. I grip the ball, bouncing it on the ground a few times, feeling its firm yet soft surface against the palm of my hand with each bounce. When I look back up, I see the hair grudgingly move into position, his body seemingly stiff and overly tense. He hasn't been moving very well for a while, whether that's from exhaustion settling in or the psychological damage of having the table slip so heavily on him, I can't know. And frankly, it doesn't matter. While I couldn't focus well enough before due to the stifling panic, once my mind cleared, I became able to read his movements and tactics much more clearly than before. Alright, 1 second, y'all. Water time. Alright, y'all, sorry about that. I'm back. Here's that. Clear my nose. I'll drink some water. Well, I couldn't focus well enough before... Okay, I already did that. Okay. And in the process of doing that, one thing became increasingly clear to me. Everyone can tell that Urushi Hara has improved every aspect of his game by a shocking degree. If anything, I might even be willing to call his development explosive. Truth be told, if I hadn't known about it already from all the practice matches we've had, I would have certainly been caught by surprise. 15-0. If only I had this performance in previous competitions to go by, there'd be no way I'd have imagined him improving this much in such a short amount of time. I guess this truly is a testament to how much he's applied himself as of late. And maybe it's because of that it's become all the more obvious to me. 30-0. Urushi Hara, you're an efficient player. I can tell how much effort you put into polishing your skills. All of it is really obvious to me. But you need more than just efficiency and effort to really set yourself apart in the world of professional sports. 40-0. Well, you certainly improved greatly. There's nothing more than you improving the efficiency of your training and shedding away the toxic mentality you used to be constrained by. Your overall maximum potential hasn't really changed. I had my suspicions when we first played a practice match against each other, but now that I can play you in a truly serious match, I can finally tell for sure. You simply don't have what it takes to cross into the realm of the pros. Game, set, and match, won by Michimaya. Count 4-6, 6-2, and 6-1. The moment the match results are announced, the Hare drops his racket and lets himself fall to the floor, sitting down and leaning back to cover his face with his arms. The sound of the audience clapping drowns out Urushi Hara's gasping and coughing. It's plenty obvious that he's pushed himself far past his limits and now his body is paying the price. I watched for a few seconds before finally deciding to walk up to him. Jumping over the net, I quickly reach my defeated opponent. Urushi Hara looks up to me once he notices my presence. The look in his eyes. I'd be lying if I said it didn't hurt to see, especially as the adrenaline begins to leave my system and the hyper-focus fades away. Come on, you did a great job. You shouldn't be letting people see you like this right now. I reach a hand for him. Aiken stares at me for several seconds without moving, watching, considering. Then he finally clasps my hand and allows me to pull him up. Ha! Damn it. Everything hurts right now. Are you okay? That's hard to say. I stifle the immediate urge to apologize. The winner apologizing to the loser after a game would be nothing short of condescending. Keisuke deserves better than that. Let's meet up with the others. Yeah. By the way, where were you hiding all of that? What do you mean? Don't yank my chain here. I've never seen you playing like that before. I'm sure you have, though. Not in recent memory, at least. Well, I can't argue with that. I don't know what to say. Everything just clicked. I haven't felt that way in a while. Seriously? Then I can't even begin to understand how I lost. It doesn't help me at all. That's rich coming from you. Weren't you the one who hit a ton of strategies for me for months just to catch me by surprise during an official match? At least I was just improvising. Well, I suppose that's fair. Sorry. There's no need to apologize. You were doing everything you could within the rules of the game to improve your chances. I can respect that. Thanks. I still feel like an ass for doing it. I give the hair a tired pat on the head as we both walk out of the court. Even my body is starting to feel a little heavier now that the rush of the adrenaline has left me. Maybe I overdid it a little. I haven't moved like that in years. I'm not used to playing at that kind of level anymore. Alright, guys and gals, I'm going to go ahead and pause it right there. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell. Leave a super thanks or tip if you can. It always helps. Until the next video, I love you all. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.